Hello, fighters! Today I would like to talk about dream and how it relates to the sleep. Have you ever had a dream where you were chased by gunmen in the middle of the forest, running with all your strength, feel anxious and terrified, and it just couldn't stop? Or have you ever had a dream where you saw red monkeys, giant spiders, beautiful colored plants and flowers that satisfy your eyes, and you were just floating in the sky and then suddenly a space rocket just passed by? Or maybe just a dream that reflects event happening prior to your sleep or important events you shared with your lovers, families, friends, and perhaps your dreams might reflect your concern and something that you really want to do, like studying for exams. Does it ever make you wonder at how and why dreams showed up in our sleep all the time? Let me explain it for you. Let's say now it's nighttime. It's time for you to go to your bed. You are ready for your bed and you start to close your eyes. Here's what you have to know: sleep has stages. It consists of unrem, which consists of N1, called as drifting off stage, characterized by losing some muscle tone and most consciousness of external environment, lowered brain activity, regular heartbeat, lowered blood pressure, and you may experience twitches. And in this stage, you can be woken easily. And two, during this stage, muscular activity decreases and conscious awareness of the external environment disappears. It is also characterized by high amplitude brain waves, heightened sensitivity to sound stimuli, and slowed bodily function, such as lower blood pressure, decreased cardiac and metabolic activity. And three, deeper stages characterized by following very slow brain waves, deeper sleep. It is much harder to wake up someone in this phase of sleep, and if awakened, person will likely experience disorientation and grogginess. Next stage is REM sleep, which is characterized by partial paralysis to protect you from physically acting out scenes from often vivid dreams that occur, and from EEG, it resembles waking brain activity. Now that you know the stages of sleep, you have to know the definition of dreams. Dreams can be explained by a series of thoughts, images, or emotions occurring during sleep. What's important is that a person can produce dream in every stage, but the characteristic of dreams itself are what makes it different. REM dreams are considered to be more perceptual and emotional. You can have bizarre and vivid dreams like magic, animals, fairies, royalty, holidays, genie, talking animals, mermaid, or unicorn. Content of undreamed dream is often a recreation of some psychologically more important event of your daily life prior to your sleep. To be concluded, pretty much you can dream of anything and anytime. So now we're gonna talk about why do we dream. Back then, dream was always interpreted as holy messages from above, warnings from another world, inside of a paranormal things, and messages from weird creatures like alien. Do you think it's true? The answer is no. Dreams comes from your brain. It is produced by collaboration between structure in our brain that makes up visual, auditory, and emotional aspect. Dreams can be related in the process of retention of our memories unconsciously to sustain our long-term memories and may help you process your emotions, which can be seen by events from the day often invade your thoughts during sleep, and people suffering from stress or anxiety are more likely to have frightening dreams. Or occasionally, perhaps just part of imagination that could possibly mean nothing. From centuries, a lot of experts have presented their theories about dreaming. These are several theories from the perspective of psychological. First one, coming from end of 19th century, Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung described dreams as having both latent and manifest content. Latent content consists of deep unconscious wishes or fantasies, could be in form of unresolved wishes, while manifest content is superficial and meaningless. Later, Freud revised his theory to suggest that dreams may also represent the repetition compulsion, a psychological phenomenon in which a person repeats a traumatic event or its circumstances multiple times, so the dream take form of reenacting the event, which can include reliving the scenario in the form of dreams or putting oneself in situation where the event is likely to be happen again. Second, threat simulation theory. This theory describes dreaming is seen as ancient biological defense mechanism to replicate threats. They could come from bad news we hear, our concern, fears, or scenario we seen in horror movies to help the person practice in dealing with them in the real life. Third, expectation fulfillment theory. This theory tells that dreaming serves to discharge emotional arousal that haven't been expressed during the day, in hopes to free up space in the brain to deal with emotional arousal of the next day and allow instinctive urges to stay intact. In effect, the expectation is fulfilled in a metaphorical form so that a false memory is not created. This theory explains why dreams are usually forgotten immediately afterwards. There are also neurobiological theories which explain about dreaming. Activation theory states that hindbrain transmit chaotic pattern of signals to cerebral cortex, and then higher level cognitive processes in cerebral cortex try to integrate these signals into dream plot. It could be classified as two stages. First, activation synthesis theory states dreams don't actually mean anything. It was just electrical brain impulses that pull random thoughts and imagery from our memories. Second, continual activation theory. It proposes that dreaming is result of brain activation and synthesis, but dreaming and REM sleep are simultaneously controlled by different brain mechanisms. And REM sleep processes conscious related memory, and REM sleep processes the unconscious related memory. The underlying assumption is that during REM sleep, the unconscious part of brain is busy processing procedural memory. Meanwhile, the level of activation of the conscious part of the brain descends to a very low level, as the inputs from senses are basically disconnected. This triggers continual activation mechanism to generate a data stream from the memory stores to flow through the conscious part of the brain. Now we know that dreams come from our brain. We might want to know which exactly part of brains that are activated or inhibited during formation of dreams. So, I will tell you. First, for the parts of the brain that gets activated during dreaming, occipitotemporal visual cortex is responsible for vivid visual imagery in our dreams. Hyperactivity in primary motor and premotor cortex along with cerebellum and basal ganglia is responsible for movement during dreams. Limbic and Paralimbic structures, specifically anterior cingulate cortex hippocampal amygdala complex, is responsible for increase of really intense emotional aspect. Hyperactivity of medial prefrontal cortex causing memory and self-referential processing. Next is deactivated part of brain in the process of dreaming. Inferior parietal cortex, which makes a person dreams from a first person perspective or seeing themselves doing things sometimes. Dorsal lateral prefrontal cortex and orbital frontal cortex, which makes us going through a process called dream amnesia, which is why we tend to forget our dreams afterward, because it controls cognitive and orientation of time and place in our brain. So now you know where dreams come from and why it happened. And perhaps it's time for me to close this video because I'm done. Bye. I'm going to sleep and dream about a monkey that lives underwater in the ocean Pacific. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Raisa Intania Zahra.